After a week of giving my childhood sweetheart the silent treatment, she suddenly made a Facebook post with the caption, 100 likes, and we break up. It quickly got 99 likes. I knew Chloe was waiting for me to go over, sweet talk her, admit I was wrong, and apologize to win her back just like the last 8 times. But this time I was just too tired. I quietly added the 100th like, granting Chloe her wish. From that day on, I stopped paying attention to Chloe, making a point to avoid her at all costs. 10 days later, Chloe's friends sent me an iMessage. Chloe's been waiting for you to cave. It's her birthday tomorrow. If you buy her a gift and show up to celebrate, you two will be fine. Seeing this, I just replied with a single flat word, busy. I really didn't have time. After all, my flight to start at Harvard was leaving tomorrow. Chloe, just as you wanted, we're done for good. Chloe had let Leo, the scholarship student the Sterlings were sponsoring, secretly change my college application. When I found out, I completely lost it with Chloe. But Chloe didn't see anything wrong with it. In fact, she thought I was being unreasonable. It was just a joke. It's not like it can't be fixed. Leo was in a bad mood, and I was just trying to cheer him up. He's fine now, so you could just change it back. My voice trembled with disbelief at how flippant and careless she was being. So, he can just mess with someone's college application because he's in a bad mood? Do you have any idea that's a felony? I could press charges against him for this. I already told you I let him do it. It's my fault. So if you want to sue someone, sue me. You're making a huge deal out of nothing. You found out, so just fix it. You're being so immature. Ethan, if you don't drop this, I'm going to have to reconsider our relationship. Chloe knew I couldn't live without her. So whenever we argued, she'd always threaten to break up with me. To be fair, Chloe and I got along perfectly before Leo showed up. Ever since he came into the picture, all Chloe and I did was fight about him. This was the 9th time Chloe and I had fought over Leo. The previous 8 times, she had threatened to break up with me. And every single time, I had pathetically caved. This time was no different. Chloe was absolutely sure I'd give in because I loved her. After throwing that threat at me, she just waited for me to give her an easy way out, to be the one to apologize and smooth things over. But unlike the last 8 times, I didn't back down. Just a moment ago, watching Chloe lecture me with an annoyed expression while simultaneously smiling down at her phone and texting Leo, I suddenly felt how pointless it all was. I had no desire to apologize. Instead, I just sat there, stone-faced and silent. Chloe waited for a moment, and when she saw I wasn't going to apologize or admit I was wrong, she clicked her tongue, grabbed her phone, and stormed out. I sat there alone in the chair, staring blankly at my computer screen. I don't know how long I sat there before my phone buzzed with a few new voice messages. I played them. It was Leo's oily voice. Hey, Ethan, are you mad about that little joke? Why don't you have her come over and I'll apologize to her face to face? Then came Chloe's annoyed voice. Don't bother. If he wants to be mad, let him. I'm not his mother. I don't have to cuddle him. Whoa, Chloe, you really shouldn't say that. Ethan might get the wrong idea. You'll just push him further away. I don't have time to baby him. Whatever. He thinks he's so important. If my grandma hadn't forced me, I never would have bothered looking after him. He's so clingy and needy. He's been driving me crazy for years. That's for sure, chimed in Lily, Chloe's friend. Ethan is such a drama queen. He's always making a scene. I've never seen a guy act like that. Exactly. He's annoying and loves the drama. Every time I mention breaking up, he comes crawling back to apologize. I'm so sick of it. If he had any guts, he'd just leave me alone so I could finally be free of him. Lily laughed next to her. You'll never get rid of Ethan. He's way too clingy. I bet if you don't go home tonight, he'll be on your doorstep apologizing by tomorrow morning. Come on, let's make a bet. Loser buys dinner. Chloe didn't come home that night. And unlike before, I didn't blow up her phone demanding to know where she was. After my parents passed away, Grandma Sterling took me in. I grew up going to school with Chloe. Chloe always looked out for me. If I ever got bullied at school, she was always the first one to step in. Chloe and I went to the same schools from elementary all the way through high school. I've lived with the Sterlings since I was 8, spending 10 years by Chloe's side. She remembered I was prone to getting hurt playing sports, so she always kept bandages and antiseptic cream on hand for me. She would wash my jerseys for me. We were inseparable, practically joined at the hip. Because of this, everyone joked that I was being raised to be her future husband, and Chloe never denied it. After 10 years together, I had gotten so used to Chloe being a part of my life that I truly believed I couldn't live without her. I was always dreaming about our future together. We'd get into the same university, graduate together, get married, and start a family. I always believed that nothing could ever drive a wedge between us. Unfortunately, that all changed when Leo, the scholarship student sponsored by her family, came into our lives. Leo approached the Sterling family during our junior year of high school. His father was sick and needed $1 million for medical bills. Leo came to the Sterlings for help, kneeling in front of Grandma Sterling and begging her to save his father. $1 million was nothing to the Sterlings, and Grandma Sterling, being a very kind woman, agreed to help. Leo's father got the treatment he needed. Seeing how pitiful, hard-working, and devoted Leo was, Grandma Sterling also arranged for him to transfer to our school and gave him and his father a house to live in free of charge. Chloe and I both knew his story and felt very sorry for him. We would go to the hospital together to visit his father, and we both helped him with his homework. The three of us got along fine until one day. I was dropping off some soup our housekeeper had made for Leo's father when I overheard him talking to his dad from outside the hospital room. His father asked, "Have you made any progress with Miss Sterling?" "Yes, Chloe really likes me. It's just that Ethan is stuck to her like glue, and I haven't been able to separate them yet." "Then you need to step it up. The Sterlings are the richest family in Boston. If you can win over their daughter, it'll be your ticket to a new life. We could live in a mansion, drive luxury cars, and never have to live this miserable, poor life again. Don't worry, Dad. I will definitely win Chloe over." I never expected to hear something like that. In my shock, I accidentally made a sound. They both spotted me at the door, and a look of panic flashed across their faces. I felt sick to my stomach. Realizing they were just playing the victim to get sympathy from the Sterlings, I debated whether I should tell Chloe. But before I got the chance to tell her, Leo made his move against me first. He asked to meet and pathetically explained that it was all his father's idea. He said his father was sick and thought he was dying and just wanted to secure a good future for him. It was all his dad's idea, and he was just playing along to make him happy. He even got on his knees and begged me not to tell Chloe. I believed him and reached out to help him up, but he grabbed my hand and pulled me into the park lake with him. I can swim, so I scrambled onto the bank and yelled for help. Leo couldn't swim. He nearly drowned, got a ton of water in his lungs, and was in the hospital for days before he woke up. When he woke up, Leo accused me of pushing him in, of trying to murder him. He claimed I did it because I was jealous of Chloe helping him. Of course, I denied it. I told Chloe that Leo had pulled me in on purpose. I thought she would believe me, that she would be on my side. I was dead wrong. She frowned at me. "Ethan, just tell me what happened. You don't have to lie to me." "I'm not lying. Everything I said is true. Leo pulled me in on purpose." "Ethan, Leo can't swim and you can." She thought that since I could swim and he couldn't, there was no way he would risk his own life just to frame me. He knew I would call for help. "Chloe, he and his father are plotting to use you to get rich." I finally blurted out their whole scheme. "Ethan, what am I supposed to say to that? I know you like me, but you can't just make up lies to slander other guys. I really don't like this side of you." She didn't believe a single word I said. She told me that just a few days earlier, Leo had already told her that I hated him. Then his father, supposedly not wanting to cause trouble between Chloe and her grandmother, had already offered to move out of the house the Sterlings had provided. They had already rented a tiny, rundown apartment. When Grandma Sterling asked why they were leaving, Mr. Walsh hemmed and hawed, saying he didn't want Leo's presence to cause any misunderstandings between me and Chloe. He was basically implying that I was secretly bullying Leo over her. By moving out, they had proven their innocence. So now when I tried to expose their plan, Chloe just thought I was jealous and making things up to get rid of them. Chloe didn't believe me. And because of Leo's self-directed drama, she ended up making them move back into the house she'd given them. She said it was to compensate them for the harm I had caused. I had no way to defend myself. In this whole mess, I was painted as the scheming, heartless villain. I couldn't believe I'd been played by them. I wasn't going to let it go. I tried everything I could to prove my innocence and expose Leo for the phony he was. But they were too clever. Not only did I fail to prove they had bad intentions, but they managed to frame me again and again. He got locked in a bathroom stall by some bullies and claimed I was the one who put them up to it. He got sick during an exam and accused me of putting laxatives in his milk. I was too naive to compete with a manipulator like him. His schemes were vicious, one after another, and no matter what I said, Chloe refused to believe me. Later, he deliberately stole and ripped up the only photos I had of my parents. He provoked me until I slapped him, making sure Chloe saw it happen, which convinced her I really was bullying him. Chloe was completely disappointed in me. She kept trying to break up with me over him, and I kept begging her to stay, hoping I could find a way to expose him. Leo was just too good at this. I couldn't win against him. When he found out Chloe and I planned to go to the same university, he even tried to destroy my SAT admission ticket. He followed Chloe home, snuck into my room, and stole it to destroy it. Luckily, I found out in time to get a replacement before it was too late. Leo was shameless. In private, he used every dirty trick in the book against me. But in public, he was a master of disguise, always ready to cry on cue about his tragic upbringing and his sick father, who was still struggling to get by. I didn't know if she had actually fallen for him or just felt sorry for him. All I knew was that she hurt me over and over again for his sake, and I humiliated myself time and time again, trying to get her back. I really couldn't let go of our relationship. I desperately wanted her to see Leo for who he really was. But none of my efforts ever worked. In fact, they only pushed her further away. For 10 years, she had cared for me, looked after me. She had become such an essential part of my life that the thought of cutting her out was excruciating. That's why when she turned on me for Leo's sake and threatened to leave, I chose to back down and apologize every single time. Until this time, hearing the sheer annoyance and indifference in her voice on that recording, I finally realized how pathetic I had become. It wasn't that she didn't believe me because Leo was so clever. It was because deep down she was simply sick of me. She was only siding against me because she wanted to get rid of me. Fine then, Chloe, you got your wish. This time, I'm not going to be the one to back down. And that college application you let him mess with, I'm not changing it back. I didn't change my application back to the university Chloe and I were supposed to attend together. Instead, I called the admissions officer from Harvard who had reached out to me. Professor, I made up my mind. I'd like to accept your offer to study at Harvard. The officer was pleased. That's excellent news. Given your circumstances, we can fast-track your enrollment and offer you a substantial scholarship. You won't have to worry about tuition. After officially changing my choice to Harvard, I finally went to bed feeling a sense of relief. I slept soundly that night. I wasn't worried about Chloe staying out, and I didn't call to check up on her. The next morning, I saw Leo's Facebook post. She had a little too much to drink, so I took care of her all night. I was so exhausted. The picture was of Chloe wearing thin pajamas, fast asleep in Leo's bed in the house he shared with his father. She had actually gone to his house, spent the night, and slept in his bed. It stung a little, but not nearly as much as it would have before. I got up, got ready, changed, and went out, coming back later with several bags. As soon as I opened the door, I heard Leo's smarmy laugh. In the living room, Leo and Chloe were sitting side by side on the couch, looking at something on an iPad. Hearing me come in, they both looked up. Chloe glanced at me, then coldly looked away. Leo, however, got up and walked over. "Hey, Ethan, you're back. That's a lot of stuff. Let me help you." As he said that, he reached for the bags. I sidestepped his touch, and he suddenly collapsed to the floor with a loud thud as if he had no bones. Chloe shot up from the couch and rushed over. She helped Leo to his feet and then glared at me. "Ethan, what is your problem? Why did you push him?" "I didn't. Don't you dare deny it. If you didn't push him, how did he fall? Is this because I took him out last night? Because I got drunk and stayed at his place? If you're mad, be mad at me. Don't take it out on him. I didn't even touch him. If you don't believe me, check the security cameras." Hearing me mention the cameras, Leo, who had been standing there silently with watery eyes, finally spoke up. "It's not Ethan's fault. I just slipped. Ouch, that hurts." Chloe's face stiffened, realizing she'd wrongly accused me, but she didn't apologize. Instead, she turned to Leo with a look of concern. "You scraped your hand. Let me get you a bandage." I saw the triumphant, mocking look in Leo's eyes, then turned away and went upstairs. Leo probably expected me to fly into a rage, to scream and make a scene. That was the old me. After hearing that recording and seeing the picture of her in his bed, I wasn't going to be that fool anymore. I didn't go back downstairs. I stayed in my room until the housekeeper called me for dinner. Leo was still there, helping the housekeeper bring food to the table. As he walked past me carrying a bowl of scalding hot soup, I instinctively moved to get out of his way. But he had anticipated my movement, and as I stood up, I collided right with him. He let out a blood-curdling scream as most of the hot soup spilled all over himself. He started crying hysterically. "Ethan, I was just trying to bring you some soup. How could you?" He had learned his lesson. After failing to frame me in the living room, he had now engineered an accident that involved actual contact. There was no way for me to defend myself. Chloe looked at me with utter disappointment. She shoved me aside and rushed to help Leo with his burn, comforting him without giving me a second glance. She didn't notice that some of the soup had splashed on me too, burning my arm. She didn't notice that when she shoved me, I fell and scraped my knee and back. The scrapes and the burn stung, but it was nothing compared to the ache in my chest. Finally, Chloe emerged with Leo, his arms slathered in burn cream. She looked at me coldly and commanded, "Apologize." I looked up and met her eyes. After 10 years of being inseparable, depending on each other, I couldn't see a single trace of affection or concern in her expression. There was only disgust and coldness. She warned me, enunciating every word. "Leo is being the bigger person and won't press this. If you just apologize now, we can put this behind us. And what if I say no? Ethan, are you testing me?" Her voice grew sharp. "If you don't want to break up, you'd better apologize right now." She once promised we'd be together forever, and now she was using our relationship as a bargaining chip for someone else. She was so certain I couldn't leave her, so sure I would back down and apologize. Only this time, she was completely wrong. I stared right into her eyes and said slowly, deliberately, "I'm not apologizing. Do whatever you want." Chloe left in a fury with Leo, and I left right after them. The scrapes on my back and the burn on my arm were really starting to hurt, so I took a cab to an urgent care clinic. The doctor treated the burn, applied some ointment, gave me a prescription, and told me how to care for it. On the way back, I got a call from a good friend. "Ethan, did you and Chloe have another fight? She's at that resort up the coast with Leo and a bunch of her friends. They're about to set off fireworks for him." "Oh," and she made another one of those Facebook posts. "Did you see it? The 100 likes, and we break up one. It's already at 99. I opened Facebook, and sure enough, there was her conspicuous breakup post. Thinking about breaking up. 100 likes, and it's official. I swear it already had 99 likes. Scrolling down her feed, I saw she had made the exact same post 8 times before. Always 100 likes, and we break up. The last 8 times she did this, I would panic and immediately call her, begging her not to leave me, apologizing without a shred of dignity. This time, instead of frantically calling her, I just stared at the photo she had posted with it. It was a picture of the resort's main square with a group of teenagers looking up at a brilliant fireworks display. Chloe and Leo were standing right in the center, their hands clasped tightly together. The fireworks were spectacular, lighting up the sky. My eyes started to water as I remembered a promise she once made to me. "Ethan, after we finish our finals, I'm going to put on a huge fireworks show just for you to announce to everyone that we're together." She gave that fireworks show to Leo instead. I stared at the post for a long time, then I hit the like button. The breakup post had finally perfectly reached 100 likes. There was no future for us anymore. It was over. I took a screenshot and closed the app. I wasn't heartbroken. In fact, I felt a strange sense of relief. Back at the house, I spent most of the night packing up my room, putting all the gifts she had ever given me into boxes. All the presents she'd given me over the last 10 years filled several large boxes. Since we were broken up, it didn't feel right to keep them. I planned to give them all back to her before I left. After Chloe made that post, she waited for me to call and beg for forgiveness, but her phone remained silent. Could he have not seen the post? She irritably opened Facebook only to see the like count had hit 100 and the last person to like it was me. How dare he? A wave of fury washed over her. She felt like she was going to explode. Just then, Leo's soft voice sounded beside her. Oh, looks like Ethan's mad. He actually liked your breakup post. Her friends immediately checked their phones. It was exactly 100 likes, no more, no less. And I was the last one. Everyone exchanged glances, looking at Chloe's furious expression. A few people quickly unliked the post, and the like count instantly dropped by half. But Chloe felt a knot of anger stuck in her chest, tight and suffocating. How dare he? He had really let her down. She had given him an out. All he had to do was take it just like the last 8 times. Call her, apologize, and it would all be over. She could have forgiven him for the incident with Leo. She would have even invited him to come to put on an even bigger fireworks show just for him. After all, she remembered her promise to me. She was supposed to put on an incredible fireworks display for me after graduation to declare her love. But now, instead of taking the hint, he had provoked her by liking the post. Did he really want to break up? He was an orphan. He'd been living in her house for 10 years. If they broke up, where would he even go? Chloe was absolutely certain I wouldn't leave her. She saw my action as nothing more than a challenge to her pride. If she didn't teach me a lesson, I wouldn't behave. Chloe decided to give me the silent treatment for a while longer to make me realize my mistake. She didn't go home that night, or the next, or the one after that. She took Leo on a trip. Leo's Facebook feed was flooded with dozens of posts a day, all pictures of him and Chloe on their vacation. They were strolling through historic towns, hiking to scenic overlooks, visiting night markets, and sharing milkshakes. There was even a picture of them bungee jumping, clinging to each other as they leaped from the platform. Leo's caption read, "My heart beats only for you in this moment." I liked it and left a comment. Congrats. A few seconds after I posted my comment, all of his lovey-dovey posts vanished. Then my phone rang. It was her friend, Lily. Ethan, Chloe's coming back tomorrow. Are you going to the airport to meet her? Why would I do that? We broke up. Wait, are you serious? Come on, don't be like that. We all know you've been miserable. Chloe still cares about you. It's her birthday tomorrow. Just be the bigger person and apologize. This will all blow over, and everyone will be happy. I failed to see how that would make everyone happy. She was the one who wanted to break up. I just gave her what she wanted. We were broken up. She had just been on a romantic getaway with Leo. It would be completely inappropriate for her ex-boyfriend to show up at her birthday party. Besides, I already had my plane ticket to Boston. I was leaving tomorrow. I didn't have time to celebrate her birthday. But they were all so used to me being a doormat that her friend didn't even give me a chance to explain before hanging up. The next day at noon, I grabbed my suitcases and left the Sterling house, the only home I'd known for 10 years, and headed for the airport. After checking my bags, I was heading to the counter to get my boarding pass when I ran into Lily. As soon as she saw me, she rushed over. Ethan, you came to pick up Chloe, didn't you? Her flight just landed. She'll be out any minute. She was already dialing Chloe's number as she spoke. Chloe, Ethan's here to pick you up. I was completely speechless. I just walked around her and headed straight for the check-in counter. I didn't know or care what she was saying to Chloe. I was leaving, and none of it had anything to do with me anymore. The moment Chloe got off the plane, she got the call from Lily telling her I was at the airport to meet her. Hearing the news, the dark cloud on her face instantly vanished, replaced by a sunny smile. She turned to Leo, who was walking beside her. You should go out through the other exit. Don't come out with me. I don't want Ethan to get the wrong idea. A flicker of resentment crossed Leo's eyes, but he obediently agreed. Chloe then called Lily back and told her to quickly arrange for a bouquet of flowers to give to me. She and I hadn't spoken a word to each other in days. She had been waiting for me to be the one to call, but I never did. This was so out of character for me that she had started to feel a sense of panic. She had deliberately taken all those intimate photos with Leo and had him post them, hoping I would see them, get jealous, and call her to start a fight. But when she posted the bungee jumping picture, the only reaction she got from me after days of silence was a comment congratulating them. Chloe was furious. She made Leo delete all of his posts. She lost all interest in using the trip to provoke me. She booked the next flight home and had Lily call to remind me it was her birthday and that I should come pick her up. On the flight home, she couldn't shake the feeling that something had slipped from her control. It wasn't until she got Lily's call after landing that she finally felt a sense of relief. The past few days without me had been unbearable. She swore to herself this would be the last time. She would never treat me like this again. Chloe came out through the VIP exit, took the expensive bouquet of roses from Lily, and started looking around for me. But I was nowhere to be seen. She tried calling me, but the line was busy. Who was he talking to? She frowned. Was he busy arranging a surprise for her? It was her birthday, and every year I always prepared a special gift for her. After not speaking for so long, today was the perfect opportunity to make up. She was sure I had a big surprise planned. But the minutes ticked by, and I didn't show up. There was no surprise. When she tried my number again, it went straight to voicemail. Her patience was thin. Annoyed and anxious, she glared at Lily. Well, where is he? You said he was here. Lily scratched her head, just as confused. I swear I saw him. That's why I called you. But when I hung up and looked again, he was gone. Utterly frustrated, she sent me an iMessage since her calls weren't going through. I know you're here. Stop hiding and come out. The message went unanswered. A pathetic voice came from behind her. Chloe, I saw Ethan. She spun around, excited, only to see Leo standing there with a bright red handprint on his cheek, bloody scratches on the back of his hand, and tears welling in his eyes. She had no time for his drama. You saw Ethan? Where is he? He was over there. I think he's still mad at us. I tried to talk to him, but he just started yelling at me, slapped me a few times, and he called you shameless. Leo then took out his phone and played a recording. My voice came through loud and clear. Don't talk to me about trash. Trash belongs in a dumpster. You two should just lock yourselves away so you don't ruin anyone else's life. Hearing my words, a vein throbbed on Chloe's forehead. She asked through gritted teeth, where is he now? I don't know. He yelled at me, slapped me, and then just walked off. I have no idea where he went. My voice continued from the phone speaker. I'm a bit of a clean freak, and I can't stand filth. Since Chloe's already slept with him, they should just get married and make it official. Just don't ever come near me again. The vein on her forehead pulsed. She threw the bouquet of roses to the ground, stomped on them furiously, and stormed out of the airport. I couldn't believe I'd run into that disgusting creep Leo on my way out. He had blocked my path and started provoking me. You've got some nerve, Ethan. After everything, you still come crawling back to try and make up with her. I was floored. What makes you think I'm here to make up with her? Then what are you doing at the airport? Still trying to act tough? You know, everyone's been betting on how long you'd keep this up. She made that post. It got 100 likes. And you're still shamelessly chasing after her. You're the most pathetic guy I've ever met. Let me tell you something. Chloe and I have been together constantly. We eat together. We sleep together. We're inseparable. She told me she never had any real feelings for you, that she only stayed with you because she felt obligated. Hearing his words, I felt a surge of rage and fired back at him. He just laughed a nasty, smug sound. You don't believe me? Do you want to know why she never took your side, even when you knew I was framing you? It's not that she didn't want to. It's because she had to make a choice. You may have grown up with her, but I'm the one she loves now. He gloated, bringing up all the times he'd framed me. Then he said, my parents deserve to die young because if they hadn't, I never would have had the chance to even get near Chloe. That was it. I slapped him across the face, told him he and Chloe should just get married already, and walked away. After a few hours in the air, the plane landed at Logan Airport in Boston. The upperclassman who met me at the airport drove me to campus, helped me get my things to the dorm, and then suggested we grab some dinner. He was a Boston local, a really friendly and easygoing guy. Since I was new to the city and wanted to get my bearings, I agreed. After we ate, he showed me around the area for a bit before I headed back to the dorm. I got back to my room and was about to get ready for bed when my phone rang. It was Lily, Chloe's friend. I ignored it. She called again relentlessly. I finally answered, annoyed. What do you want? Ethan, you need to come over right now. Chloe's waiting for you at her birthday party. Chloe and I are broken up. Why on earth would her ex-boyfriend show up to her birthday party? Lily was so stunned, she started to stammer. Wait, what? What did you break up? I thought the deal was 100 likes. Her post doesn't have 100 likes anymore. Who says it didn't? I got the screenshot. I said, my patient's gone. Exes are supposed to disappear from each other's lives. Please don't call me about her again. I don't care. Right before I hung up, I thought I heard a sharp gasp on the other end, followed by a loud crash, like something shattering. Not my problem. I put my phone down and went to take a shower. When I got out, I saw she had sent me a video. It showed Chloe and Leo, who was dressed up in a suit, surrounded by a crowd of people. They were staring into each other's eyes while everyone chanted, "Kiss, kiss." Lily sent a text right after. Ethan, if you don't get here now, they're actually going to kiss. They'd already slept together. What was a kiss? I ignored her message, turned off my phone to make sure I wouldn't be disturbed again, and went to sleep. Chloe's birthday party was a huge affair held at the most exclusive club in Boston. The guest list was a who's who of her social circle, and everyone came bearing expensive gifts. Chloe sat on a couch, looking less than thrilled. She showed little interest in the presents and seemed bored while making small talk. Next to her sat Leo, dressed up in a tailored suit, looking slick. He kept trying to chat her up with his smooth lines, but she was giving him the cold shoulder, her eyes glued to the door of the room, waiting. Leo was seething internally. Others might not have known what was going on, but he did. She was waiting for Ethan to show up. He had already played her that edited recording of my words, taken completely out of context. A person as proud as Chloe shouldn't have been holding out any hope for me. And yet, here she was distracted, still waiting for me to arrive. Leo prayed that I wouldn't show up. Maybe his prayers were answered because the guy who was supposed to be hopelessly devoted to her, never appeared. The minutes ticked by. Chloe checked her watch again and again. Finally, after 4 hours of waiting, she said flatly, "Let's just start. Ethan's not here yet. Should we call him? He's never missed your birthday before," Lily suggested. Chloe gave a silent nod. Lily immediately called my number. It took a few tries before I picked up. My cold, dismissive conversation with her was heard by everyone in the room. I said we were broken up and that we should stay out of each other's lives for good. Leo was thrilled to hear it. Chloe furiously kicked over a pyramid of expensive wine bottles that had been arranged to spell out "Happy Birthday," sending thousands of dollars of red wine spilling across the carpet. The manager quickly moved them to another room, and the party continued, but the birthday girl was completely checked out. Finally, Lily suggested they play a game of dares. The loser had to kiss someone in the room. Unsurprisingly, Chloe lost. Lily told her to pick someone, then pushed Leo next to her, telling them to pose while she started recording. Leo saw it clearly. As soon as Lily finished recording, she sent the video to me. Everyone waited, expecting me to burst in and stop it, but half an hour passed, and there was nothing. Lily tried calling me, but my phone was off. Chloe didn't kiss him. Instead, she just started downing drink after drink. Eventually, she drank herself into a stupor and was taken to one of the club's private rooms upstairs to sleep it off. Leo didn't leave. He made the excuse that he was worried about her and wanted to stay and look after her. Once they were alone in the room, he took a small spray bottle from his bag and spritzed it a few times in her direction as she slept. It was something his father had paid a lot of money for, a substance that was supposed to make anyone who inhaled it highly aroused. Leo watched her nervously. A few minutes later, her eyes fluttered open and she lunged at him. Chloe woke up the next morning. Her head was pounding and her thoughts were foggy. She stared at the ceiling for a moment, trying to get her bearings. When she realized something felt wrong, she turned her head and saw Leo shirtless lying next to her. She shot up in bed. "What are you doing here?" Hearing her question, Leo opened his eyes with a dazed look. When he met her furious gaze, his own eyes immediately filled with tears. "Last night you were so drunk. I tried to stop you, but you insisted." He squeezed out a few tears, trying to sell the idea that she had forced herself on him. But before he could finish his sentence, she slapped him hard across the face. "You son of a... You set me up." The slap caught him square on the cheek, which immediately started to swell. This was not how he had rehearsed it in his head. He had imagined how she would react when she woke up next to him. He knew she would be furious. He figured she would assume she had gotten drunk and done something stupid. and his plan was to play the innocent victim. So, he started his performance just as his father had instructed. He expected her to ask for details, not to just slap him without a word. She didn't just slap him. She grabbed a handful of his hair. "Did you use something on me, you bastard?" He shook his head frantically. "No, I swear. Have you looked in a mirror? You really think I'd ever sleep with someone who looks like you?" She was absolutely livid. She and I had promised each other that we would be each other's first. That's why, no matter how much Leo had tried to flirt with her or seduce her, she had always kept her distance. She knew he had a thing for her, and she enjoyed the way he doted on her, waiting on her hand and foot like a servant. She had even thought that once she and I were officially settled, if Leo was still obsessed with her, she might not mind giving him a little attention. But she refused to believe she would ever willingly sleep with a creep like him. There was only one explanation. He must have used some kind of dirty trick on her. She was furious. Leo could worship her, like her, even love her. But in her mind, he was nothing more than hired help. Any physical contact could only happen if she allowed it. Anything else was a crime. This was so disgusting. It made her skin crawl. She couldn't accept it. She started punching and kicking him, demanding to know what he had done to her. He cried and begged for mercy, but she didn't stop. She was just too angry. How dare this lowlife plot against her? Who the hell did he think he was? Did he really think he was worthy of her? Now, finally, she understood what I had been trying to tell her all along. That Leo and his father were no good, that they had ulterior motives. She had believed their side of the story, thinking I was just being jealous and petty. Now that it had happened to her, she finally saw the truth. The thought that she had frozen me out and used this phony to provoke me made her want to slap herself. Of course, she wasn't going to hit herself, so she took all her anger out on him, her fists raining down on him, kicking him until he was bleeding from his nose and mouth before she finally stopped. But it wasn't over. She angrily called Lily. "That bastard Leo set me up. He actually dared to set me up. I'm going to kill him." Lily, woken from a deep sleep, gasped when she heard what happened. "How could that happen? What are you going to do?" "Ethan can never find out about this. If he finds out I slept with Leo, he'll never forgive me. We have to bury this. You understand?" she finished. Then she looked down at Leo, who was crumpled on the floor. "If Ethan ever hears about this, you and your father are both dead." A shiver went down his spine, and he nodded frantically. "Don't worry, I'll take it to my grave." She looked at his shirtless, pathetic form with disgust, spat on the floor, and stormed out. The moment she was out of the hotel, she called her family's security. "I want a full background check on Leo. Find out everything this bastard has been doing behind my back, and check out his father, too." A sense of dread washed over her. She was now certain that Leo was up to something. To prevent him from doing something desperate, she had to get rid of him now before things could get any worse. Her biggest fear now was that I would find out what happened. She had to get to me first. She rushed home in a panic. The housekeeper was cleaning, but I was nowhere in sight. She figured I must be asleep in my room. She asked the housekeeper, "Is Ethan still asleep?" The housekeeper looked surprised. "Mr. Ethan isn't here." "Not here? Where'd he go? Is he at a friend's house?" "No, miss. He's gone off to college." "Didn't you know? College? How is that possible? The semester hasn't even started." "I wouldn't know about that. All I know is that he left with his suitcases yesterday." The housekeeper's words sent a fresh wave of panic through her. She pressed him for more information, but he didn't know where I had gone, only that I had packed several large suitcases. Said I was leaving for school, and I wasn't coming back. Unable to get any more answers, she ran upstairs and threw open the door to my room. The room was neat and tidy. In the middle of the floor were several large boxes. She rushed over and saw a piece of paper lying on top of them. "Chloe, here are all the gifts you ever gave me. I'm giving them back." She picked up the note and stared at my familiar handwriting. She recognized the words, but she couldn't comprehend their meaning. I had returned every gift she'd given me for the past 10 years. What was I doing? She couldn't understand why. Or maybe she did and just didn't want to admit it to herself. With a trembling hand, she dialed my number. It was busy. After trying several more times, it finally dawned on her that I had probably blocked her number. She rushed downstairs, grabbed the housekeeper's phone, and dialed again. This time it rang. My calm voice came through the line. "Hello, Mr. Thompson. Is everything okay? It's me. Where are you?" Hearing her voice, I frowned. "Chloe, we broke up. Where I am is none of your business." She actually argued back. "Who said we broke up? I don't agree. Are you going back on your word?" "Chloe, you're the one who made the post. 100 likes, and we were done. I have the screenshot. Everyone saw it. Besides, you've been spending all your time with Leo. Doesn't that make it pretty clear, Ethan? There's nothing going on with Leo. I was just... You don't have to explain anything to me. Like I said, we're done. What you do is not my problem, Ethan. After all these years, how can you be so heartless?" I didn't understand what she was getting at. We had been broken up for weeks. Had she lost her mind, calling me up to question me now? I was losing my patience. I didn't think there was anything left for us to talk about. After she treated our promises like a joke, like something to be used to entertain Leo, what right did she have to question me? Nobody forced her to choose him. When she pushed me over for him, when she made that post for him, when she went on vacation with him, did she really think I would just be waiting for her with no self-respect at all? She thought way too much of herself and way too little of me. "Chloe, you made your choice. Since you're with him now, you should just focus on that." "I'm not with him." "You haven't slept with him?" I asked flatly. She went silent. Before last night, she could have answered that question without hesitation, but now she couldn't. Her hesitation made me laugh. A cold, bitter sound. "Chloe, you can't have it both ways. Honestly, it's just pathetic." Her voice was trembling. "Where are you? Where are you right now? We were supposed to go to college together. The housekeeper said you left for school. That's not true, is it? We did agree to go to college together, but then you let Leo change my application to a different school just to make him happy. I told you to fix it, didn't I? Why would I change it back?" I asked, my voice flat. "You, Ethan, please don't scare me. I'm sorry. Just tell me where you are. I'll apologize. I'll admit I was wrong. I'll do anything. I don't need that, Chloe." Not every apology gets accepted. This was over the first time he framed me, and you chose to believe him. So please just stop. Let it go. I hung up. When she called back, I declined it. After I rejected several more of her calls, she grew increasingly frantic. She had to find out where I was. She had to find me right now. Just as she was about to have someone look up my flight records, Leo's father, Mr. Walsh, showed up uninvited, barging into the house. He no longer looked like the frail, sickly man who could be knocked over by a strong breeze. He dragged Leo, who was bruised and swollen from the beating she'd given him, and stared at her aggressively. "Miss Sterling, I believe you owe my son an explanation." Chloe frowned, looking at this completely different man. "What kind of explanation? You assaulted my son. You ruined his reputation. Don't you think you owe him something for that?" "I ruined his reputation? Wasn't he the one who drugged me? You think I would ever be interested in a disgusting creep like him?" The memory of the previous night made her blood boil. Seeing the utter disgust on her face, Mr. Walsh knew his first plan had failed. It was time for Plan B. "I've already taken my son to the hospital to have his injuries documented. The club has security footage, and my son's phone recorded the entire incident. You took advantage of him, and then you assaulted him. You're going to pay us $100 million. Chloe gave him a cold stare and simply had her security throw them out. She didn't have time for them right now. She knew perfectly well that he had set her up, and she had already had her people looking into it since that morning. The Sterling family's connections were extensive. It didn't take them long to find the person who sold Mr. Walsh the drug and have him arrested. Both father and son were arrested on multiple charges, including blackmail, purchasing a controlled substance, and sexual assault. They were going to face the full extent of the law. I saw Chloe again 6 months into my first semester at Harvard. She seemed like a completely different person. She apologized for everything, and I accepted her apology, but I had no intention of letting her back into my life. A decade of history destroyed by a guy she had known for less than a year. No matter how much she swore she would make it up to me, I couldn't believe her anymore. I learned that you can't trust anyone unconditionally in this world. The only person who can save you is yourself. That was a lesson I had to learn the hard way. So now I was focused on my studies at Harvard, supported by a generous scholarship and nothing else. I had no desire to get back together with Chloe, and I wasn't interested in finding a new girlfriend. My only goal was to study, study, and study some more. Girls can betray you. Friends can betray you, but your education never will.